All right, in this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about how automotive paint is matched and why it matters whether it's matched with base coat or with clear coat. And a lot of times people just think, hey, it's just a computer. The guy puts it on the computer and the computer tells you the color. That's not exactly how it works. So how is automotive paint matched? Okay. What they normally do, I've got a little, I'll get that off here real quick. I've got a black spot in there from paint. All right, that's probably a little better, but anyway, I got it all over me from doing the undercoating on this Carmen Gia. But anyway, what happens in automotive paint is automotive paint's not made with tints like your house paint. They go over to a machine, they take a white gallon and they put it in and they push buttons on the machine and all the tints all squirt out into the gallon and then go over to a shaker and they shake it up. It's not how automotive paint's done at all. Automotive paint's done with toners, okay? So they have all these different colors of paint that they mix on a scale. And what they do is it's a little bit of red and a little bit of green or a little bit of this color, magenta, all these different things. And they're all in a big rack. And on that rack, they're spinning around. There's little things that spin around and you put the paint up on the rack and the things spin and it mixes the toners. What a bad guy can do is not turn that rack on and let them run for long enough. And he starts pouring those toners before the rack's done. You gotta let it run for a few minutes before you start pulling the toners off. If they do that, if one person does that, every color from there on is off, just so you know. So a lot of times you think, oh, well, I can go to the paint store and they can just make the color. They have the formula, they'll just make the color and it's going to come out the same every time. No, it isn't, because all it takes is one person to turn that machine, not turn that machine on for long enough to spin up those toners, and there's one that's a little bit not stirred, and then what happens is from there until that toners run all the way out, colors are going to be off on everything. It's a whole big deal, okay? When we had a paint mixing machine, you had to really be careful with doing that. It's been a very long time since I had a shop that had a paint mixing machine in it. But anyway, so this whole thing is very complicated. It's not like you can just go to Home Depot and they just they scan your little thing and the color comes out. And if you didn't notice, even when you do that, it doesn't always match. So it takes something called eye matching after that. It takes a lot of time to match a color. So what does this matter to you? And maybe you don't care. You're like, I don't care. I mean, I just want to go to the paint store and buy paint and it's going to match. It's not. Okay. So you need to understand about color match and why some things are better than others, and why one of the reasons I use single stage versus using the other. Because, okay, if you're the guy matching the color, first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your sample and you're going to put it on the spectrometer. You're going to scan it, okay? They're going to scan the spectrometer, all right? And after he scans the spectrometer, then that's going to tell him a few different options of how to make the color. So it's going to say, okay, use these 4 toners, and those 4 toners are going to make the color. And it might say, or you can use these 4 toners, and these 4 toners are 7 or 8 toners sometimes. You can see there it is, more of it. It's all over me. But all those 4 toners are going to use to make the color. So he chooses the method to do it. And then what they do is they won't shoot the entire formula. So if he's making a pint or quart or whatever, he's not going to shoot the whole formula in, and he's going to mix it up by hand. After he's done stirring it, he's going to stir it up by hand, and then he's going to put it in a spray gun, and he's going to shoot the sample. He's going to spray it. It's called a spray card. You do a spray card. You spray it on the card, you look at it, and you match the color to the sample that you have. So you might say, well, Mike, my color is this, I know the color code. I had my own classic car. I went, looked up online, it's Dove Blue. And they got the formula in Glasserit, or Glassomax has the formula. Guess what? They don't. It's all done by iMatch. Either that person iMatched it a long time ago and saved that formula in the computer, or they are going to take a sample from what you have and match the sample. So trying to get the original color on your car is very difficult to do. And you might say, well, if I use Glasserit, it's exactly the same paint as what they did originally. No, it is not. The original paint was Glassomax. The products are similar, but they're not the same. The old stuff had toners and different things that are outlawed now. And so all VOCs are not the same as they used to be, even for paints that were made. They've all changed. So all this stuff has changed. So the formula that they had is no longer good. It can't be used. So what they have to do is they have to re-iMatch it. So somewhere along the line, the color that is in the computer, if it's in there, is iMatched from someone with their eyes to the color. So yeah, it was done with a computer. It started with a computer, and they make the formula, and he makes up less of it. And then what he does is spray card, sprays it on a card, looks at it, and goes, oh, okay, that's pretty close. Now this is the deal. How much time is somebody going to spend doing that? They're not going to spend that much time. So now, with base coat, it's a lot easier to do. So you're probably going to get a better match more of the time with base coat than you are with single stage urethane. This is what I'm getting to. Because single stage urethane, to do the same spray card, back when you had acrylic enamel, you could do a spray card with no hardener. And you could just put it in a hairdryer and dry it really good, and it would dry. Some of the single stage urethanes, they will not dry without the hardener in it. Well, how much hardener do you think the guy who's matching the color is going to waste to match your color? They're not going to wait. They're not going to spend that much time, guys. They just don't. And they can only do so many shots, and then they're going to go, okay, here it is. Boom, it's done. And you're going to get it. You might go, hey, man, that doesn't look like Dove Blue. It's not like my buddy's single cab looked like. It looks different to me. Well, that's because you didn't spend the time. It also could be because somebody along the line didn't turn on the mixing station and let it run for long enough. There's all these things that come on into color, and that's why I typically will use base coat, clear coat from here on out. It's because it's easier. If I have to rematch the color, I can use with base coat. I can mix any brand. Almost everything will mix together. I've almost never had one that wouldn't mix together. With clear, and clear is just clear, right? And with single stage, no, You mix one base with another color with another color. It could work. It might work. It might not. It might curdle. There's a number of things that might happen. You could get something called seedy, where it's got little tiny, almost like little dirt in it. It looks like, they call it seedy. It's just like covered in little dirt things because of the incompatibility of the two paints. There's just so many things that can go wrong using single stage when you're trying to match a color. And again, on top of that, the paint store is not going to spend the time and add the hardener and spray card it And of course, single stage urethane takes a lot longer to dry, and a lot of times when they're drying, they change color quite a bit. So that's the kind of issues you run into. You have to let it spray card and dry. And how much time are they going to spend? You know, especially when they're not charging you. Let's say they're charging you $300 a gallon. I mean, how much is a guy getting paid an hour that's doing the color match? If he spends an hour on your color and he gets $35 an hour for his wage, especially in California, you got to make that much money today. So he's just not going to spend the time. So you wonder why, hey man, how come the stuff doesn't match? The computer or the formula, it's got to be right. The only thing that matches are well, they don't even match. They're the newer cars. If you get a newer car formula and it doesn't have 14 variants, which that's been happening lately, you get the color and the guy goes, so which variant do you want? And you go, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, there's 17 variants on this color. And I'm like, oh, so what was the original one? Oh, well, I'll try that one. I don't know what happened. I don't know how that happens. How do you have four? Why not just say, we don't have it. We can't make it because there's 14 variants. There's no way I'm going to know. It's just like, you might as well just bring something down and have them eye match it. You're probably going to get closer than if you have them, you know, mix one of those variants up. And one of the things that if you do that, you get one on one end of the spectrum and one on the other end of the spectrum. Okay, say if you're gonna need a quart, you get 2 pints, and you take this pint and you just add the other pint to it a little bit until it matches, and that's kind of the thing you do with that. But it's a pain in the butt now. There's just, back years ago, they had something like factory pack colors. You could go down to the paint store and it was in lacquer usually, and you could just go, hey, I want a factory pack Toyota, you know, to whatever 72A, or I don't know how they even numbered them back then. But yeah, and they go, oh, okay, yeah, well, we got one on the shelf, and you give that color, and you could spray the panel, you could spray a door, and it was brand new car, you could paint the door and not paint, no blending, and it would match, and with white. And it, you know, white's like the hardest color to match. There's a gazillion different whites, believe it or not. It's really hard to match. Yellow is super hard to match. There's a lot of colors that are hard to match. Reds are hard to match. But if you could do that with the factory pack colors and it would match. But now, they don't do that. So the whole process of matching a color is super complicated. It requires a machine to give you an idea of what to start with. There's guys that don't even need a machine. They can just they look at it and they go, oh yeah, this one, yeah, I could make this with, you know, with so-and-so magenta and red, and they'll just go over and just boop, 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 start putting it in a can. Oh yeah, no, that's getting close, and they'll just start adding more other things, and all of a sudden they're like, okay, I got it. You know, they don't even need the machine. And then you're relying on a person's skill. So are they really good at matching? Do they have enough time to do it? You know, all those things become part of doing it. So on your classic car, if you're trying to get a color match, you know, you need a guy who can do it right. You need a formula that somebody else did a while back that's in the computer that already matches. And it does, in fact, match the color. Or you need a really good sample. So if you bring them a faded sample, you're going to get a faded color. You know, and so you'll see, that's where you go to a show and you'll see like sealing wax red. You'll see like 14 different versions of sealing wax red because so many guys got a sample that was faded and they took it in, or maybe somebody else got the same faded version of it, you know, whatever. That's why that happens. And that's why the whole color match thing is harder. That's why I like to use single stage more often, because I can tweak it Okay, I've got tons of different old base coats, and I can mix those base coats in with other base coats, and they all mix together normally. Where if I do that with single stage stuff, it's a crapshoot. It might work, it might not. You know, with the sign industry stuff, most of those work together. So that's why a lot of times I'll use my old sign industry paint that I've used from leftover from jobs or whatever, and a lot of times I can match colors. Sometimes I can't because I don't have I'm just scrap matching. So I just use this. You know, when I worked at One Day Paint and Body a long time ago, that's how everything was done. It was all scrap matched. You went out and you went, oh wow, how am I going to make this copper color? There's nothing on the color chart like that. Okay, some red, some gold, some, you know, black, kind of kill it a little bit. Oh, it's getting there, you know, a little bit more. You just come up with the formula and make it and figure it out. So yeah, that's how it's done. It's not what you think. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe to see your comments.